Good evening once again to viewers, listeners, and enjoyers of the Sector 4 podcast. Hope we're all doing exquisite this fine evening. Oscar, how are you, mate?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad, my friend. How are you doing?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm alright. Excited to get into this podcast. That's what I am. As the listeners should be.
As always.
Yeah, right. So, obviously, we've had the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix, the Jeddah Grand Prix. Very, very big elephant to address in the room. Not my room, the room of Formula One. Ollie Behrman replacing Carlos Sainz, who he had to have an appendix out or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah. So he was not feeling great in practice. Free practice 1 and 2. And then I think he went to the hospital on Saturday morning. Friday morning before FP3 and qualifying. And they realised he had appendicitis, so he had to have his appendix taken out.
Yeah. And so up stepped Ollie Behrman, who had an absolute blinder of a performance for a rookie driver in a Ferrari. Obviously starting P11, nearly knocking out Lewis by, 0.03 seconds.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat Aaron, give me 2 seconds. It was.
In the article that Oscar's reading. Anyway, while Oscar finds that, yeah, he started P11 and finished 7th, so not too shabby of a weekend for him. Imagine that, waking up. It literally couldn't have been a better weekend for Ollie Behrman. He's started or qualified on pole for F2, and then he gets a call from Ferrari saying, "All right, mate, we need you in the car tomorrow morning." And he's like, "All right, cool, say no more." I mean, the only way it could have been better if he'd I don't know, got the seat or something for the rest of the season. But to be fair, it's not a bad effort from him.
Yeah, it was a great start for him. Starting P11. Which, to be fair, to miss out on Q3 by that margin, and losing that only very, very small margin to a 7-time world champion is very, very, very impressive. To be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think for his first time out in a F1 race, very, 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 very good job. He beat Norris, Lewis. But yeah, I guess we'll get into more of his performance later on.
Yeah. Also, back onto what you said about he only just beat Lewis, 7-time world champion. I think that just brings excitement for next year with Lewis being in that seat. If a brand new rookie has only just missed out on his position by less than a tenth of a second, then he is going to hopefully fly in that car next year.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I think that's what all Lewis fans are hoping for. But also, can you imagine the driver duo of Lewis Hamilton and Oliver Behrman?
That would be nuts. That would be
two
sick.
British drivers at Ferrari. That'd be worse.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
But they're not going to get rid of Charles Leclerc anytime soon, so
not unless he leaves.
Yeah. Anyway, did you see? There was a picture of his headrest before and after the race, and obviously he's used to
yeah.
I don't know, 30, 40 lap races rather than a 50 lap race in a Formula One car, and obviously his neck won't be that strong, so the headrest was crushed from where he's gone like that around the
corner. Yeah, I did see that. But you wouldn't think the dent would be there though, because the dent was right at the dent was kind of at the kind of where the front of the headrest.
Yeah.
You think it'd be on the side.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It might be because he's tall. It might be just because he's taller than Carlos Sainz.
He is quite tall. There was the video.
I did notice that in the cockpit.
Yeah, of Lewis waiting after the race to congratulate him, and he's a good foot taller than Lewis Hamilton. I mean, Lewis isn't known for being overly tall, but still, anyone a foot taller than anyone is going to be pretty tall.
Yeah, no, because from the onboard camera, you could just see his head was pretty much right up to the camera.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so yeah, definitely a tall one is Ollie Behrman.
yeah. I mean, obviously, it doesn't affect his driving because he smashed
I
that.
know, clearly not.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, swiftly moving on. We had it wasn't actually mentioned very much, but the Lando Norris false start. I didn't actually see it at the start of the race, and then I think it was George Russell mentioned it during the race, well, not during the race, but at the start, and then they kind of show it for like once or twice, and then it says no further investigation. That was all it had.
Yeah, because I saw I saw it all on the replay afterwards. Well, because everyone was, Russell on the radio, and you had so I can't remember. There was someone else on the radio as well, but I can't remember who that was. And but yeah, what he did was he did roll off the start, but he didn't leave the white box.
Mhm.
So and because he hadn't left the white box, they didn't give him a penalty.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I thought.
quite
I
interesting.
know this is. I'm not a Formula One driver, so this probably isn't what happened. But he moved forward and then stopped, and then everyone else started going, and then he went again, which is probably just his slow reactions. But I thought it was quite sweet, letting everyone have a head start.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like, do you know what, guys? I've made a mistake, so you lot can have a head start. I'll catch up in a second.
Yeah, that's very nice of him. He's known for being quite a generous driver.
Yep. If that was Max Verstappen, it
Very
would take
very
him
nice guy.
half a lap, and he'd be at the front of the pack. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
he's a lovely fella, isn't he? Do you know what? We're talking about driver matches. Ollie Behrman and Lando Norris would be a sick driver lineup.
you're not wrong. I'd like to see that at some point.
Yeah, get them both in a Red Bull, and then they win.
They'd win. They'd win. Definitely.
They
Definitely.
would win.
But
Speaking of
I
Red
think
Bull,
that's the other thing about Ollie Behrman. Like,
go on.
he's if he's this quick and he's this like consistent now, what's he gonna be like when he actually
Yeah,
does come into Formula One?
he's
And
only going to get better, isn't
he's exactly like sky's the limit at the minute.
he? I mean, we've seen two young rookies come in recently in, obviously, Ollie Behrman and Liam Lawson. Sorry, his name just completely went out of my head for the life of me. And they both had absolute blinder performances. Given the situation Liam Lawson was in, he was in a fairly mediocre car and he, like, smashed it. Ollie Behrman, not so much a mediocre car, but in proportion, he also smashed it because, yeah, they just both did sick. So when Fernando Alonso eventually decides he wants to retire or something,
2050.
yeah, something drastic, God forbid, happens to any of the other drivers, then two pretty safe backups there, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got we've got a lot of good rookies and young drivers waiting to take the reins when the old guard leaves. So I think we'll the future of the sport in terms talent wise is definitely safe, which is quite nice to know.
Yep. If you see me on the grid in a few years, don't be surprised because
I was literally about to say you're getting that Mercedes here, right? I swear.
yeah, that's it. Toto Wolff actually called me earlier.
Oh no way.
Yeah. He got my number off Zach Brown because he used to be my driving coach. So
Oh, I've heard rumors. I've heard rumors.
yeah. Anyway, there's been quite a lot of drama in the Red Bull gaff in there.
Yeah, love it.
That was such a poor segue, but you said you wanted to talk about that, so I'll let you go wild.
Well, there's quite a lot to talk about, really, isn't there? So,
We've got time.
there's obviously the whole Christian Horner drama
Hmm.
of
Which has allegedly been cleared, but someone is now £500,000 richer. To be quiet on the situation.
what to do. So they got suspended with full pay. So I think that what that means is I think they get a full year's salary. But like they've been fired, so they're still getting paid the same amount. what that they'd be making if they were
That is nuts.
still employed.
Yeah, they're literally
Um,
paying him to be quiet then, or her. Sorry.
well, it doesn't sound good, does it?
No, it doesn't. If he
It
was
doesn't sound like you're
100%
covering
guilty
something
and
up.
nothing happened, he would have just said, "Yeah, jog on, mate," and then wouldn't pay him anything.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I don't know. But then Helmut Marko was apparently asked to not talk to the press about anything, and
Yep, that's more drama.
he might be getting suspended. Apparently, that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, why has he been
It's weird.
brought into this?
Because so there's an investigation coming out next week, the site next week even, that apparently he's been leaking stuff to the media.
Oh, what about Horner?
I think just about Red Bull in general. I'm not sure if it's just about
See.
Horner. Although that wouldn't surprise me, to be fair.
Yeah, especially with all this shenanigans going on. You see,
Yeah, and then
Max Verstappen about basically, Jos Verstappen has come out basically saying Red Bull are falling apart, this, that, and the other. And
oh
Max
yeah,
Verstappen said in an
yeah.
interview that his dad isn't lying. So, woo.
I also know that, well, there's also a lot of articles about how if Helmut Marko leaves Red Bull, then Max will probably go with him.
Yeah, I mean that makes
So,
sense.
it's weird though because you think Max would leave if Marko was to get kicked out or anything. You think he'd leave the championship-winning car that's really, really good and suits his driving style fantastically. You think he'd really give that all up just to prove, I guess, make a point.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's more. I think it's more than just making a point because in all everything that Max and Joss are saying, it's more just the environment at Red Bull. No one would want to work there. Like I know he's got a car and he's getting paid money beyond comprehension, but at the end of the day, if he's gonna want to kill himself while he's there, then he's hardly gonna enjoy it, is he?
Yeah, that's very. I mean, that's a very good point. To be fair, so I know. Well, a lot of people have been having talks with Toto Wolff and Mercedes. Like I know Jos was spotted in. I think it was Bahrain. He was spotted with Toto Wolff in the Mercedes hospitality.
Mhm.
And then I know that Carlos Sainz Senior and Carlos Sainz's manager were there in Saudi Arabia. So
In the
knows?
Mercedes gaff.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Everyone's all over Mercedes at the minute. But yeah.
Yeah, well, they keep promising this amazing championship-winning car, and I'm yet to see it, to be honest. But maybe one day it will come.
Yeah, give it a bit of time. We'll see where they are.
How much time? 2 years?
Hopefully this year.
2026.
Pretty please.
Yeah, no, this year would be lovely. Obviously Lewis's last year in the Merc, but everyone's saying that they're all going to make drastic changes for 2026, and this 2026 is the exciting year. Doubt it, mate. You've
Yeah,
said that the past 12 years.
I'm quite excited for 2026 because got Audi coming in, got new engine regs. See what happens.
Yeah, I would like to bet a lot of money that if Red Bull are where they are now, they will still win.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I can't really.
If all the kerfuffle dies down, then they will still win. Even if it's still uproar, they'll probably still win.
Yeah, true. But to be fair, like they might not be under Horner at that point because I'm not sure if you've seen, but Horner might be getting fired.
Yeah, but is that for real? Because they've been saying that rumors for a while.
Once everything, so you know how everything got sent around. So after everything closed, that Google Drive document, everything was released to all the press. So that happened, and then obviously they fired the employee or whoever it was. But apparently they're reconsidering firing him.
That is nice. Can you imagine? That would literally be the downfall.
But to be fair, someone in I think quite high, it was either CEO of Red Bull or someone quite high up. I'm not going to try and pronounce their name because, well, I'm not Austrian. Wanted Horner out completely. But then Horner's lawyers got involved and made sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, of course. They're always going to keep his job, aren't they?
Which also makes me think that he's done it because why would you need to do that otherwise?
Yeah, why would you need lawyers to protect your job if you're an innocent man?
Exactly.
Well, I
But
mean,
like,
to be
why? Like,
fair.
exactly. Why would you have to bring them in if he was going to get fired? Like,
Mm,
it just does not look good.
yeah. And as Will Buxton says in the season 6 of Drive to Survive, rumors don't come from nothing. So
Exactly. Did
something
you also
fishy's
see
going on.
the very well choreographed handheld kiss from him and his wife?
No, I didn't.
It was just happened to be a load of press taking photos at that time.
I'll have a look tonight.
Uh,
It's quite funny. They do quite well to make it really staged, but also quite a good documentary at the same time.
I don't know. Netflix having a field day at the minute.
Yeah,
Although I could Drive to Survive next year will hopefully be quite good.
hopefully. Yeah, with all
To
the
be fair,
Red
the
Bulls and
first
rubber.
the first episode will be good. All the rest will be rubbish.
Yeah, Max Verstappen wins again. Ah, boring. Will Buxton saying that if you're not at the front, then you're not winning. Stupid
If you're not in a
comments like
Red
that.
Bull, you're not winning. There we go.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, back to Jeddah.
So we went off on a bit of quite a long tangent there.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here for. The people want to hear it. That's why they're listening. I'd hope.
Just I thought, so random thoughts of us waffling.
Yeah. Well, they're here for it, so it's fine. Let's talk about the McLaren and Mercedes fight. So, let's say it's middle of the race, when the fight began between Piastri and Lewis, we saw quite a good defence from Lewis, to be fair. And Piastri was very aggressive, almost too aggressive at times, because at the same corner, he outbrakes himself twice. And to be fair to him, gave the position back straight away. But yeah, that was quite nice to see a little battle for Mercedes and McLaren, which is good because we're not just seeing nothing happen. I mean, you mentioned not when we were recording, but earlier when we were talking, it was the most boring but exciting race at the same time because nothing really dramatic happened, but there was lots of little battles, which was nice.
Yeah, I mean the Piastri Lewis Hamilton battle was very interesting, quite stressful at the same time. seeing seeing Piastri dive bomb Lewis like from quite far back, locking up, that was little bit tense. But yeah, I think, and then obviously later in the race we had Norris versus Lewis, which was also quite exciting. But yeah, I can't wait to see that battle between McLaren and Mercedes unfold over the rest of the season.
Yeah, it'd be nice to actually see some action.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, and then later in the race we had the other McLaren, Lando Norris, defending Lewis behind Ollie Behrman, which was quite cool to see. They were both battling it out for a good number of laps, and Ollie was just chilling in front of him, waiting for his 6 points and his media and money and go home.
Yeah, I think, well, because obviously you had Lando and Lewis charging behind him, who were catching quite quickly, to be fair to them. And he had, Ollie had his engineer on the radio being like, "Oh, you guys." To be fair, I think Ollie's engineer, well, Carlos Sainz's engineer, did quite a good job at encouraging the weekend. Like, I know in FP3 he was like, just take it at your own pace, and like his dad, Ollie Behrman's dad, and everyone else was like, there's no expectations, just go and enjoy yourself. Which I think, to be fair, exactly. Like, you might as well. It is his first race. You can't expect, and he got called up so late. Like, only had one practice session before qualifying. Again, really, really good job from him this weekend. But yeah, his engineers did a great job of encouraging him just to keep going and going, keep pushing himself. And he set his personal best on that. His personal best of that race up until that point when he was being chased down trying to keep P7. And yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, he said in an interview that it was like the most mentally and physically exhausting thing he's ever done in his life, because he was just like pushing to the max until the last lap. Because like you say, that he had Lando and Lewis like right up his backside, pushing second after second, lap after lap, and he had to properly be switched on and make sure no mistakes, because any little mistake would have maybe cost him the P7.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the mad thing is that obviously you got 6 points from being P7, and if my stats are correct, which they should be because I double checked them about 5 minutes ago before we started this podcast. He's currently P10 in the championship. In the second, after 2 races, after there's been 2 races, and the mad thing is he probably won't finish last.
Yeah, that is crazy. Even after just one race, if we look at stats from the past few years, he probably almost certainly won't finish last. And who knows, he might be called up again later in the season.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Add points, then he definitely won't finish last.
Yeah, but it's mad. He's done one race and he's beating half the field already.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts to think as well that he's younger than you, older than me. Like he's just 18.
It's terrifying.
And he's, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. It's like very off topic and not what we should be talking about. But Luke Littler in darts, he's my age. He's my school age, and this guy has become famous from throwing knives at a board, essentially. I mean, to be fair, he's quite good at it because darts is quite hard, but still, you wouldn't think he's 17, but just the rise to fame he's had is absolutely nuts. Same with Ollie Behrman. I mean, I'll admit, I didn't know who Ollie Behrman was until 2 days ago, and now I know almost everything about him.
Well, because I keep up with F2, so I knew who Ollie Behrman was from last year. In fact, we saw him race Silverstone last year.
We did.
We did talk about that a little bit when we were there. But yeah, I think it's mad. It's mad. He's I think just under a year younger than I am. Which is just terrifying because I feel really, really old and I'm only 19.
Come on, Oscar, why are you not in an F1 car yet, mate?
I don't know. Maybe it might be because I'm not a millionaire. I'm not very physically fit. I'm
What?
not that fast.
Student debt kicking in already.
Yeah, honestly, it's my back's caving in. I walk around with a walking stick. It's not happening. I might have been good at the F1 game back a while ago, but now I can't keep up on that anymore either. So that's a sad reality, really.
Yeah, I mean he's not done too bad, has he? Fair play.
No, exactly.
Solid, right? Unless you've got anything else to add, Oscar.
I do actually. One more thing
for it.
on Stroll's crash.
Yes, I did just look at that. I couldn't remember if we spoke about it. He had a bit of a mediocre weekend, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he was. Well, I guess up until that point, it wasn't a great weekend. He was well off Fernando's pace in qualifying, and then well, yeah, a bit of a disappointing end of the race for him by doing saying it was, I guess, classed as a rookie mistake. So in fact, I think he did earlier on in the weekend, if I remember correctly, in FP1, I want to say, where he clipped.
Yeah.
I think it was that exact same corner. And Logan Sargent did it as well, but for someone that's in their 8th season of Formula 1, you wouldn't really be expecting that mistake because it's a really, really simple mistake he made. He just clipped the inside wall once, and then that launched him into the arm code. So I don't really.
But to make it twice in one weekend at the same place is a bit questionable.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an amateur mistake that.
Yeah.
And I think, to be fair, my hopes for Stroll going into the season were obviously not great, but I thought we'll see where he is this season. Already it's not really working out.
Yeah, he it made me chuckle actually when he was in the car after he crashed. He radioed in and said,
engineer?
"I hit the wall, I crashed." And his engineer goes, "Can you bring it back?" And he goes, "No, I've just hit a wall."
I saw. I was on Twitter after the race. I saw a picture of someone like a smashed up Ford Fiesta in a Tesco car park, and someone put the engineer, "Can you bring it back to the pits?"
Yeah, that made me laugh. I mean, I guess it's understandable because he obviously couldn't see, but it was quite funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Perspective.
I think if you listen to the team radio, I think Stroll was trying not to laugh a little bit as well from what he said.
Yeah, I mean, I was laughing and I wasn't there, but you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, solid. Anything else?
Max Stappen dominance. Yeah, once again,
Yeah.
cool. And let's end it here.
First place Max, second place Checo Perez, which is the same as in Bahrain. Third place is still a Ferrari, but obviously couldn't be Checo, Carlos, because he wasn't in a car. So Charles Leclerc taking third place. So with that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you after the next race. Bye bye.